welcome all. Peace to family. Tonight, we have a topic we're going to discuss. Who hurt you worse? And we're going to talk about the two former presidents as well as the present president. And we have historian extraordinaire Dr. Winters, historian extraordinaire Dr. Short. And for me as a student, I love to have these two brothers together. I love to be on the phone with them. It's just a pleasure of their banter. So for me, it's always first and foremost classes in session for me. So I'm going to sit back and just enjoy and moderate and host the show and allow these two historians to really give us the black version, the true version of who hurt us worse and where we're going in the black family. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Dr. Winters, you have an adopted son who adopted Chicago and infiltrated Chicago, who was a junior senator out of nowhere, who spoke eloquently, and he rose to the White House.
Yeah.
Who happened to have been a classmate of Dr. Short, and Dr. Short had been telling people about him years prior of who he was. So give us some history of President Obama far as how Chicagoans viewed him and what he did for Chicago and didn't do for Chicago.
Well, you got to look at it from this perspective. Back in 1990, after Clinton lost the presidency and Baby Bush came in. What happened is that Clinton was going around saying that she was going to become president, and she was going to become president based on the black vote. Okay, around these two financiers in California that support the Democratic Party, they told her that you're not. They said we're going to stop you. So around that time, all of a sudden this brother came to Chicago. The Trinity Church was well known. They did a PBS special on the Trinity Church and how Oprah and some of the elites in Chicago went to Trinity Church. So from out of nowhere, this brother comes in, and he was telling people that he had did community building. He didn't do community shit in Chicago. No, nobody knows him. Nobody knows the community thing that he worked with. But what he did is that he went to Trinity Church.
Could it have been the gay community?
I don't know nothing about that. But the thing is that he came here with a purpose. And his purpose was to go to Trinity Church. And he knew that if he went to Trinity Church, he could meet all the big shots, including Oprah. And so then by going to Trinity Church, he was able, in a sense, and I forgot the name, the popular preacher of Trinity Church.
Jeremiah Wright.
Jeremiah Wright, he's well known. So the thing is, so he built up off his back. And so then, but most of us in Chicago, we knew he wasn't about shit when he went, And we knew in a sense that first they tried to get him in office by trying to get him to be able to take
Bobby Rush's seat.
Yeah, Coon Rush's seat, And so Coon Rush, he beat him. And so what happened is that they brought him back. So it was all propaganda, They brought this man in. And see, he was created. He was created so that they could stop Clinton, Miss Clinton, from becoming president. And so then all of a sudden he rose up to fame. They let him speak and all that type of stuff. But most people in Chicago, we knew he wasn't about ish. Number two, we knew that he never worked for any community service, no community program. But the thing is that people were enamored with him, but people didn't understand. And I'll admit, my wife, she knew right away he was a fake. But I'll admit, in a sense, I was a little bit susceptible. But the thing is that what it did is that we didn't understand until now, all due to Tariq Nasheed, due to the efforts of Tariq Nasheed. Now we know that these black people, these foreign black people, these black people that have nothing to do with the foundational black American community, that they're a hazard and that they're our enemies. But we didn't know that, and that's why people supported Obama. But Obama, when he got in office, it was all a game, and people believed it. But see, the thing is that, people should have known his mother was a banker. His mother was a banker. His
grandmother was a banker.
His grandmother was a banker. His mother was a spy. When he already had, people still think this man was broke. When his mother married this guy over in Asia, and Obama really is worth $200 million, probably more now. And he was going around telling people he couldn't even pay his university loans back and all that type of ish. But see, it was all a myth. But see, people love a lie. It's just like remember Q when you was younger, and you knew that girl in school, that fine itch, and you knew that she liked to hear ish, so you talked some ish with her, and she loved them lies.
Tell her whatever she want to hear.
Yes, sirs. I mean, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Come on, baby.
So his mother married the Soetoro guy.
Yeah,
if I'm correct, and that's when he was telling everybody his name was Barry Soetoro.
That's how he got the $200 million.
So Dr. Short, for everybody in the audience who knows who Dr. Short is, Dr. Short has some history because he's a DC native, and he has some history with the current President Biden, because Biden, we all know, ran Delaware, and that area, the DMV area in particular, is very, very influential, and someone's rise to power must go through as a gatekeeping type of thing. So Dr. Short can give us some history on President Biden, as well as being a classmate of Barry Soetoro, who is known as Barack Obama, and he's been speaking about it for years. And now it's starting to pick up steam, definitely in white media. And we want to know, we know why it's not picking up steam in black media, and a lot of black people are scared or under the thumb of that media arm of that party, so they choose not to speak on it. Good evening, Dr. Short.
Well, look, I'm not a classmate per se. I'm in the same years as Obama. I went to the School of Religion. He went to the School of Law. That school, the School of Law, is right next to the School of Divinity. I ran across Obama maybe once or twice in the 3 years I was there, but we did hear of him in terms of allegations that he had been inappropriate with white male staff at the Harvard Law Review. Again, allegations. Okay. So that's what we do know. I tell everybody I had an opportunity to walk in on Obama making a pitch to be head of the Harvard Law Review, because Obama was telling the Federalist Society, a very conservative racist group, that he did not like black people. He got confused with blacks. We identified with him, but he couldn't stand us. And that if you wanted to control them, use him. Says nobody likes the people in the Black Law School Student Association. I can't stand them either, but I can help you. They like me. They trust me. You want black people handled, turn them over to me. I can shut them down. And that was the secret meeting that I happened to walk in on. So Obama betrayed the law school students when he was the black law school students who trusted him to make certain that they got good representation. And he didn't do that. He lied to them. So that's the situation.
Now we could go back and forth between Obama and the other two presidents. So on the current president, Dr. Short, you're not black if you don't vote for him.
I've got a little bit of Biden too, not much. When you live here, when you live here, friend, you run across people because this is a small southern city that's turning into a mini New York. And I ran across Biden twice. One time I spoke to him and he glared at me like, nigga, don't come near me. He was getting his shoes shined at Union Station, very close to the A. Philip Randolph statue before you get on the trains. I was going to go up and talk to him. And he glared at me like, nigga, don't you even come over here. He gave me such a hateful look. Like, don't you dare come and talk to me, nigga. I've never had a politician other than the Klansman, Byrd from West Virginia, who was a very close friend of Biden. I was working as a butler and I, by mistake, breached Southern etiquette and protocol by looking Senator Byrd in his eyes, and he stormed out of the Shakespeare Folger Theater because you're not supposed to look white people in the eyes. And this wasn't too long ago. This may be about 20 years ago. And about 20 years ago, Biden assaulted me on Louisiana Avenue. I was near the Nice American World War II Memorial, Nice for Japanese Americans. I saw someone coming towards me, and he saw me and he put his head down and he literally came and knocked me over and kept going. I was thinking to go, and I realized the bald spot, that's Biden. You know, there could be Secret Service. You could end up dead fighting him. Let's just keep it in your memory. And the only other thing is Joe Biden Jr. was the Attorney General for Delaware when we were trying to expose the fact, and it still goes on, that there's a lot of human trafficking, disappearances of blacks in Delaware. There are lynchings, extrajudicial murders in major cities. In Delaware, there was a death squad of white men going around executing black men, hanging them, or black men washing up on the beach. And just nothing's done about it. This has been a major news blackout for like 15, 16 years. There's a place in Dover called Silver Lake Park where black folks know, be careful, you could end up dead there and no one will ever know anything about it. When we submitted a brief to try to get something done, Beau Biden Jr. had the Attorney General's office closed to prevent us from submitting something to complain about neo-Nazis and others possibly killing black men. The other dealing I had with Joe Biden Jr., at least knowledge-wise, is about almost 16 years ago, I had a 2-hour conversation with Larry Sinclair, the man who claims he snorted cocaine and sucked Obama's dick. His number was up on the rents.com webpage. I was just trying to get this book about him talking about getting fucked by Obama because I remembered, I forgot about Obama, but when I first ran across Obama in 1988, when he was saying how much he hated black people, you have to go to a predominantly white school like Harvard or Princeton, and almost everybody black is a coon. Everybody black is a coward, a liar, a suck-up. There's really very few people you can go to when these things happen. A lot of what happens to you, you know this, Dr. Winters, at these predominantly white institutions, is you learn to kiss white ass, to lick the shit out of their rectums in order to make it. Because there is no black institution, no professor that has tenure on, tenure track, or anything that's going to come to your aid typically. That's why you have student rebellions where people get treated so badly, they have to risk their educations because they're by themselves. Am I lying, Dr. Winters? Just everybody runs from you.
It was a little bit more complicated when I went to university.
Well, yeah, you went when there was a movement.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the post-movement generation. Okay, I'm an Xer, you're a boomer. There was no movement really for us. So there's nothing. I mean, you try to find two people that think like the three of us to even talk to even say, hey, look, this thing happened. So when Obama was saying all this ugly stuff about black people, I walked into the space and Obama froze because Obama's a coward. When he's around black people, he's uncomfortable. He needs either black folks enamored with him or black folks that worship him, black folks who can see that he's full of shit. He has enough shit inside of him until he could power the nation with the methane gas out of his ass. Just put a tube up it. He could power the whole world, okay? And so Obama froze when I looked him dead in the eyes. And I looked and realized there are about 20, 30 white people, and there's me, which is why I'm like I am, brother. I noticed, like, you couldn't even find anyone else black like Dr. Winters to even agree that you're not crazy to disagree. You see, there's a lot of mind control in these universities. That's why when you hear about them coming through these schools, how a lot of black folks just go along to get along. And I was thinking, I came from Howard, but Howard's a predominantly black school that had lots of coons. But, you know, you might find some people that could raise some hell. And my first gut feeling is, I'm going to turn this bitch out. But then I looked around and said, he's not worth it. He's bisexual. He's a half-breed, and all these whiteys on his side. You're not even supposed to be in the Harkness Common building on the law school campus. You'll lose. You can't win. So I walked away. Obama made a nasty comment like, see, he's like the rest of them. All the white folks fell out laughing. And when I left the Harkness Common on the north side of the building, I saw some brothers on one of the dormitories, and I said, who's the mulatto in there? He lies better than Richard Nixon. He's going to be president. He's going to stab us in the back and walk over our dead bodies to get there. He's got a gift from hell. Who's the mulatto? And they said, oh, that's Obama. And I said, Obama, if you're from here, DC, Bama is like saying basically a stupid Southern motherfucker. When I heard Obama, I was like, damn, what kind of name is that? And I was just stunned. I was just walking around saying, Obama, God damn, a fucked up name for a fucked up person. They didn't have cell phones back then, at least not in general public. So I called my best friend who was down in DC, who's from Oakland, name is Eric Shanks, and says, dude, there's this half-breed bisexual at the law school. Name Obama. Damn. He's going to be president, and he's going to fuck over us, and we're going to fall for the shit and love his ass. In about 20 some odd years, you'll see this dude. He's going to be president. They're preparing him. You can see the way he was working these racist white folks. He knows exactly what to say to people. Says he lies better than Richard Nixon. And he's a black Richard Nixon. And I forgot about him until 1991, when I was moving in September 91 to get a job with the Washington Post. My best childhood friend named Levi was helping me to move because I had like a couple of thousand books. And they had hijacked some rental trucks to move my library from Massachusetts to DC. Thank you, Levi. And he asked me, how was Harvard? And I told him, fuck Harvard. It's just the debt I got to pay if I pay it. And it says, you didn't like it? It says, man, I've been depressed the whole time I was here. And he says, well, why? I mean, it's a big school. I says, well, you know, I can handle the racism. I grew up to segregated school and kids throwing rocks and calling you nigga. I mean, I'm used to that. I said, but the damn sellout niggas here, there's one named Arthur Davis. I think he's sweet. He's probably going to be a congressman from Alabama. And he became the second black congressman in Alabama since Reconstruction. And there's another one named Obama. He's gay and biracial, and he's going to be president. Fuck us. I says, and I'm watching this all happen, and all I could do is watch our people get destroyed. I said, all they did at Harvard is teach people who were willing to be used how to destroy the rest of black people. And it was depressing. There was nobody there really thinking about us. So I says, I've been depressed for 3 years. I forgot about this. And when in 2002 or 3, I don't know how people got my email, but folks started writing me about this Obama person running for office in Chicago, or either 99 winters, whenever he started running. And I said, oh, Harvard, fuck those coons. I don't want to be bothered. I just deleted the emails. I don't give a damn. I mean, if it's from Harvard, fuck it. It's no good for Black people. And I didn't really think about it until about maybe 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later. I was in Ghana and South Africa for the summer. And I was trying to explain to the students at Legon University in Ghana about sellout niggas. I was just talking, and I began to talk about this light-skinned gay dude at Harvard that's going to ruin America one day. And they had these big television screens in the computer area of Legon University. I look back, and it's Obama giving that bullshit speech that there's no Black America. I said, there goes that faggot. I started screaming, look at faggot, he's going to get us. And the African people laughing at me, man, America's great. Why don't you want to share with this man? He can't be that bad. Look at him. He's speaking before. I says, he's going to hurt you. He's going to destroy certain countries. He's going to put the U.S. Army here. And Africans, man, you're too paranoid. You Black Americans, y'all take things too seriously. And I says, oh, my God. Obama, oh, my God, they're going to make him president. Oh, shit. I had even forgotten that I had told people about him being president, right? When I got back to the States, I went to a man that you've heard of, Brother Q, named Dr. Suleiman Yang, one of the leading Islamic scholars in America. You know him too, Dr. Winters.
Yeah, I know him.
And I told him, this guy, Obama, all he's going to do is promote gays and illegals, and he's going to dog Black people. I hope he doesn't win, but he's going to win. I hate him. I'm so angry. I can't do anything to stop it. He's going to destroy Black people, and Black folks are going to support him, and they're going to attack people like me who try to tell him. And Dr. Yang laughed, and I says, but you know what? If he runs against Hillary Clinton, he'll beat her. I says, you know why? I says, Bill Clinton, his racist ass, he's going to say something in the primaries early on that's going to make Black people angry with him, and that's going to allow Obama to win the Democratic primary. I says, I'm going to call you the day that Bill Clinton runs his damn mouth, and I'm going to announce the Democratic Party nomination for Obama the first time, the day that Bill Clinton does it. Segue to 2008, New Hampshire. And I saw Bill Clinton say something about a Black president or something being a fairy tale. And I says, oh shit, he did it. His dumbass did it. It's not even deep in the race. I called Dr. Yang and said, Obama just became the Democratic Party nominee. Black people within 24 hours are going to turn on the Clintons. They're going to lose in South Carolina. The South is gone. Hillary, that bitch is finished. That bitch is finished. Hillary's ass is done. Obama just got all the Black support in the country. Al Sharpton, all these other phonies are going to get behind him. And damn, or didn't know who the nominee was. And then later, you know, in 2008, we had a little party or whatever. And I told people, because I had called my god brother, you know, I have dreams and all, and the shit happens, right? Seriously. I'm not trying to be funny. And, you know, what I can say to you is that I had this premonition about Obama, and it was nagging me because I was in Tennessee and I went for Christmas 2007. I went from Jackson, Tennessee back to DC. And being from DC is so many fake niggas here. It's so fake, damn. And Prince George's is worse. Just Black people are a lot, for real Black people are good. But the fake bushy people in DC give their asses a government job, and they would support genocide on all the other broke niggas and not in the same GS class as them. That's how selfish they are, especially when they're in Prince George's County. Prince George's County niggas are the sorriest, weakest, and that's why they're Sanctuary County and the mayor of New York and their punk ass governor Wes Moore, I call him Wet Whore. They're gonna let all of these Latino gangsters come in, and they're gonna fuck those bushy niggas up. They're gonna find out that they're just niggas with jobs, and that's NWJ. Okay. Now let me say this to you. I'm almost done. I was watching all these niggas when I was on the train. Everybody black I saw, they were carrying around copies of The Audacity of Hope. And I said, 40% of the black men in this city can't fucking read. What are they doing with the book? You got called faggot if you carried books to school. And I'm watching semi-literate black folks walk around with books. And I'm like, you niggas are liars. This shit was just making me so angry. I couldn't wait to get out of DC. There were homeless niggas with copies of The Audacity of Hope and shit. It was blowing my mind. It's just, black people don't like books that much. I'm a bibliophile. I was so angry. I said, I don't want to buy this old faggot's book. I'm not going to buy this faggot's book. I'm not going to spend real money in this faggot's book. But I went to a used bookstore and got a used copy for about $8. That way you didn't get a royalty, old fag. You didn't get shit off me. Definitely didn't get my votes 2 times, right? I'm going to just say something to you. I said, you know what? I can't read this faggot's book. I'm going to get angry. I'm going to want to fight. And I don't know, God bless me. God bless me that I'm not like a lot of men in my family. They're very big. I'm like small and skinny and frail. I'm not that, my name is short. And I'm not a short person, but for my family, I have cousins 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and I'm like 5'11" and a third. So my dad was 6'2", my brother's 6'2" and a half, and I'm sort of like a pygmy. And so, I get very angry about race, but because I'm not strong like my brother that could bench press 500-600 pounds, 700 pounds, I have a lot of body strength. My mind is violent, like Dr. Winters or like yours, Brother Q. But, my ass can't fill in the check that I want to write out. So I basically think about crazy shit, but I'm not going to do it. And so I said, I'm not going to read this punk ass nigga's book. And I said, you got to read this punk ass nigga's book because something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with O'Faga. That O'Faga's a liar, right? And I was so mad. I was just sitting with the book, just shaking. I hate this nigga. Damn, I hate him. And people would call me, aren't you excited? I'm like, fuck you. Don't you call me about that fake ass nigga. And people don't talk to me about no Obama. I may just go snap. Just thinking about him makes me angry. So anyway, I was dreaming, and then I woke up from a nap, and I dreamt I had a conversation with my god brother who's out in California. He's an AME minister by the name of Godfrey Patterson. Godfrey lived with my family when he moved to DC in 1975. And in my dream, Godfrey was telling me about Obama and Joe Biden fucking this man that he knew. It's the craziest ass dream I ever had. When I woke up from that dream, I called Godfrey and I says, Godfrey, damn it, you be straight with me. You know something about this goddamn Obama and this fucking Joe Biden. And I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. And you're going to tell me. You like to keep secrets and you're going to tell me about this punk ass nigga because I dreamt it. A gay dude that knows something about Obama, and damn it, you're going to tell me right now. He was stunned. And I says, you tell me. We've been friends a long time. I am not crazy. I saw this faggot talking to you about them in my dream. and So I want to know right now. I'm not crazy. What did he tell you? And he paused and he said, as a minister, I have to counsel people. My church was a Hemingway AME Church off of P Street, Northwest DC, not too far from Howard campus. And because Godfrey had been in the Nation of Islam, he like one of the co-founders of the Final Call and all this other kind of stuff. And people talk to him. He's about 6'6". He was like a basketball champion, but injured his knees. So he went to divinity school, became a nigger preacher instead of a basketball star. It's less money, less pussy, less fame.
I don't know about that.
Well, the ones that had the money, like T.D. Jakes, aren't getting the pussy. And we won't get into Eddie Long's ass. Now, let me just say to you, so Godfrey said that he had this dude that was a drag queen who would always come to him and complain about how he preached and how hard he was on gay people and how mean he was and how he never, he was always beating people down the Bible. And God says, it's my job to tell you the shit's wrong. And the ass isn't a pussy, brother. And the guy says, but a lot of people you like thinking ass is a pussy. A lot of people that you respect think ass is a pussy. Says, there are a lot of people you admire that think ass is a pussy, Reverend Godfrey. And God says, look, man, this is what you like Obama. Says, I fucked him. I've had Obama. You want me to call him? And he's like, no. And he dialed Obama and got Obama on the phone. I said, hey, baby, how you doing? And Obama said, hey, how you doing? I'm kind of busy right now. Let me call you back. Okay? I'll see you later. Right? And he says, see, I had him. In fact, I had him and I had Joe Biden at the same time. And my God brother says, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to know. I don't care. It's wrong. It's an abomination. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. He says, you respect him. You guys are going to vote for him. Y'all think he's presidential material. And says, you're a Democrat. And he's like, look, man, I don't care. So he calls Joe Biden up and starts doing phone sex in front of my God brother with Joe Biden. And Godfrey don't like the shit. God, just please hang up, man. I don't want to hear this thing. Man, I don't want to hear it. I don't like it. It's Nash, this abomination guy. Don't come around me talking about that stuff. And he says, but you know what? Obama, one of them is going to be president one day. You might need me for something. And he says, not if they're like that. I'll trust God. I suggest, man, please. Anyway, he told me the story. And I says, damn, this dude is going to be the gay. I said, oh, shit. Oh, my God. I started calling people saying, Obama is going to fuck us up. But I had already been against Obama. Y'all need to understand that between 2005 and 2006, I have a friend who died in 2001. His name is Glenn Ford, who is the main founder of an electronic magazine called Black Agenda Report. And contrary to the lies that you'll read on the internet, I'm on the goddamn paperwork as a founding charter member of Black Agenda Report with Glenn Ford, Bruce Dixon, and of course, Martin Kilson, who's a founding member of Black Agenda Report. And who brought Martin Kilson to Glenn Ford? I did, because Martin Kilson from Harvard was my mentor, my favorite teacher. So one of the reasons that Black Agenda was established was because we wanted to fight against Barack Obama. And even though Glenn and Bruce were communists, one thing that bonded us together is we were saying Obama's going to destroy Black people. Obama's going to fuck us. He's going to be worse than 100 Clarence Thomases, and Black people don't even see it. He's not going to help us. And when so I wrote an article in Black Agenda Report in 2007, predicting that Obama was going to stab Jeremiah Wright in the back on his march to the presidency. He did it the following year, 2008, if you recall. And this is why I don't give a damn when people don't like what I have to say, because I'll call that shit 20 years in advance and it'll happen like clockwork. It's called the gift of prophecy. It's God-given. And I couldn't care a damn who doesn't like it. It's dreams and it's the ability to see into the future. Doesn't work for me to tell you when I'm going to get pussy or get a Powerball check. But I can tell you, if I get a word to warn your ass about something, it damn sure will happen. And I don't have to worry one bit. And you can talk shit to me and it'll still happen. All right. Speaking of that, I had already been against Obama before he even started running for president to warn black people we were going to get hurt. And that's what Black Agenda did a very good job attacking Obama. Now, segue back to 2008. Once Godfrey told me about this, I then started trying to get information on Obama's sexual stuff. Now, understand something. I'm a candidate for ministry and the United Church of Christ because I did UCC ministerial training at Harvard Divinity School. Jeremiah Wright is in the United Church of Christ. Michelle and Barack Obama were in the United Church of Christ Church. Ben Chavis, the disgraced former head of the NAACP, is in the United Church of Christ. What's his name? Andrew Dumb. Andrew Young is United Church of Christ. And I can go on and on and on. That really fat, greasy preacher, Reverend William Barber, he's from the United Church of Christ. It's a leftist, super liberal, moist, rainbow and Skittles type church. Okay. I joined not for the rainbows and Skittles, but they had some serious racial justice initiatives. And that was the only church I could think of, because I'll tell you, the black churches, man, let me tell you, a lot of crack holes have pussies cleaner than the reputations of the ministerial staffs of some of these black churches. And that's saying some shit there. Okay, a homeless crack hole at that. Now, I'm going to say this. Once I realized Obama's UCC, Jeremiah Wright, I began looking. Plus, one of my mentors, his name is Philip Smith. You've heard of him, Clyde Winters. He's the black dude that helped set up the Black Power conferences in Newark and in Indiana because he was buddies with Hatcher. I know you've heard of Philip Smith. He used to write for Dollars and Cents. I know you've heard of him. He would run against the Daily Machine. They ran him out of Chicago. He ended up going to Detroit. I met him through Reverend C.T. Vivian in 2004. And he and I had a conversation about how we didn't like Obama in 2004. All right. That's when he said, hey, look, my brother went to Kentucky State University with Jeremiah Wright's brother. You should meet Jeremiah Wright. But you need to know, and the UCC is full of gays. And he says, well, and there's a church down in Atlanta called Victory UCC. It's full of gays. And then the best buddy of Victory Church, I think the guy's name is Samuels, down in Atlanta. His buddy is another punk ass preacher named Eddie Long. He's a little punk Negro that lifts weights, that wears wigs because he's got a weird shaped head. I'm just telling you. Now, what happened in 2008, I began looking, trying to get more information because I read a line in the book before I fell asleep to call my God brother. It's in The Audacity of Hope. And Obama makes a comment about how Michelle looks. He said that he was glad that Michelle Obama wasn't so good looking as to be intimidating to other women, or so good looking as to be off-putting to men. What kind of dude doesn't want their woman to be fine? Not a straight one in my book. And he said, Michelle Obama has a kind of lived-in working mother beauty. Now, Winters, your wife would have had you killed execution style had you wrote some shit like that about her in a book that sold millions. So I'm like, this dude, damn, he's just out there with this shit. So I thought about the book. I called my uncle, Smith, and I told him, you know what? Obama is a bigger punk than what you think. Folks are going to start turning up dead to cover up for his homo shit. Watch. Folks are going to start dying. And him and I started arguing. In fact, 3 of my mentors, all older brothers, Reverend C.T. Vivian, Dr. Yusef Cly. C.T. Vivian was Martin Luther King's assistant. Yusef Cly was Malcolm X's assistant, founder of the Organization of African American Unity in Canada. And then Philip Smith, who ran all the congressional and mayoral races for Coleman Young, for that black congressman in Michigan. You know who I'm talking about, the one that was there for almost 50 years. Help me out. He ran the mayoral. Huh?
Conyers?
Yeah, John Conyers. He ran the race to get Coleman Young elected. He got Gibson and Newark elected. He gave advice to help Hatcher get elected, and he even did a little bit to help Stokes. This nigga was a monster, but all of them liked Obama and got mad at me for saying, you know, this nigga's a punk. So I told him, watch, they're going to start killing people. And all of a sudden, I got a call within 2 weeks, and I heard 3 black men had been killed. All were members of Trinity United Church of Christ. And I said, Uncle Phil, this is the cover up for Ofaga. Dude's gay. They're cleaning. They're killing these. They say they love gay people. Let me be clear. I might criticize a person's sexuality, but nobody has the right to murder people. Okay? I got gay family, and I don't want nobody killing them. We can argue, fight and shit, but I don't want you putting your hands. You and me were, you know, I had a dude try to mess with one of my cousins. I thought I was going to kill him. You can't do that. I don't care how many dicks you suck. You're not going to put your hands in them. I'll kill you right here in this house. Me and him didn't talk for like 14 years because I had a thing. I was about to bust his head open. It's still my family. That's my favorite cousin. His father molested him. That's why he's like that. I'm not going to let you help what his dad did. I'll fucking kill you right here in my house. And our house was a Christian center. How dare you? Huh? Are you understanding me, brother? So these men start dying. And we had a very serious argument. I had 3 arguments with 3 black mentor males of mine, all got mad. And everybody started arguing with me, shut me down. You just jealous. You went to Harvard. You haven't achieved as much as him. You need to be happy for him. Why are you jealous? I'm saying jealous of getting fucked in the ass? No, I'm not. I mean, I had problems having bowel movements as a baby. Shit, I just knew I couldn't be gay. Damn, I couldn't shit with the asshole I already had. Why am I going to add any complication to it? I'm sorry. And the blowjob, damn. You know, anyway, let me just say this. I was so mad because everybody I went to, with the exception, my best buddy, the one I had warned, his name is Eric Shanks. He's in Oakland, California. He called me excited about Obama. And that's one of the first times I cussed that nigga out. You know, I have Obama derangement syndrome. So you say Obama, I just flick off like Cocoa Puffs and shit. Don't talk about them. They can make me angry. Just thinking about him makes me angry. That's how I learned how to talk like him. I hated hearing his voice so much. I have to like talk it out of my head to try to forget that this nigga is destroying us, man. He's still doing it. All these years he's been hurting us. Let me say something to you. I'm almost done. I was so mad. I started going online trying to find somebody that didn't think I was crazy for seeing Obama. And I started reading this super right-wing racist thing called Rents.com. And in the top right corner, they had this book called Obama, Lies, Cocaine, and Gay Sex, or something like that. And it had a phone number. And I said, shit, I got to get a copy. I got to have this. So at least when I cuss people out, I'll have a damn book to back up. It's not just my emotion, because most niggas are into feelings and shit. The only feelings y'all need to worry about are in your penis and in your clitoris. You need to have facts to back up the thoughts in your head and what comes out of your mouth. I'm just saying. And you can have some, you know, in your labia majora ladies, you know, keep it moist too. Now, having said that, I called the number to get my copy of the book. And instead of getting an automated thing, I got this gay sounding dude. And it was freaky. He was scared. I was scared too. And I realized You're him. Oh my God, you're Larry Sinclair. And yes, I'm Larry. And then I said, Obama. I said, right. He started talking. It's like, and I told him, I believe you. I went to school with that punk ass nigga. And I says, there are people dying, man. And he says, yeah, Donald Young called me and he's dead. And the same thing that you saw with Tucker Carlson, we had this conversation all these years ago. And I told him, you better be careful. They'll kill you too. Let me just say to you that I've got a friend, his name is Wayne Madsen. He's a master investigative reporter. He was able to meet Obama's Indonesian drag queen babysitter. They would leave Obama alone with a man that was a sex worker. Now, let me just say this to you. Asians, I hate to say this, but being a black man, a lot of folks are curious about our dick sizes. Let's be honest. Only people aren't curious about man-hating pork chops and studs. Everybody else is interested in how big black men's dicks are. To show you that even when it comes down to dicks, a lot of sisters are off cold. You should like us for having big ones instead of being mad. Okay. Anyway, in fact, the black dick was the first great adventure. It was the first Disney World. It was the first roller coaster. It was the first merry-go-round, okay? It was first Disney World and the first King's Dominion. Okay, so get over it. Busch Gardens. In fact, they got Busch Gardens. They can have that. The name doesn't work. Okay, now look. In 2008, we did a rally for the Green Party because I supported Cynthia McKinney. And I told people in March of 2008 that Joe Biden would be Obama's running mate. And people laughed in my face. How do you know? I says, when he's his running mate, you bastards owe me an apology. Well, didn't Biden become his running mate? I'm a full-time teacher with 7 or 8 classes, Dr. Winters, at a broke-ass HBCU. So you know I'm nowhere near the center of power to figure out who's going to be the vice presidential candidate before they even have the Democratic Party convention. However, I do want you to know, as Larry Sinclair said he was going to do a press conference, and he did that press conference when I was in Africa in July 2008. Okay.
How did you know that he was going to be vice president? What was the giveaway?
Well, let me explain to you something that happened that sealed it, that I couldn't have known. When Larry Sinclair gave his press conference talking about having sex and doing drugs with Obama in 1999, the Attorney General of Delaware, Joe Biden Jr., illegally arrested him in Washington, D.C., and threw him in jail in Delaware. Okay, I couldn't have known that. And that's why I'm trying to say, for all of you that don't think that God is real and there aren't people that can't see or don't get a word, that's why white folks call us spooks, because we can see shit they can't. For all of y'all that are atheists, that don't think there's anything but no spirituality, you're dumbasses. You're going to need some spirituality to cope with these folks who all have AR-15s. Man, their hamsters have AR-15s to kill our asses. You better get some wisdom and some perception and know which Dollar General not to take your ass into. That's how I know. And that's what happened. And he became the nominee. And by the way, of all the things, a gay dude that I know through a gay person that used to be in Chicago, it's a woman journalist. You know who I'm talking about, Dr. Winters. I'm not calling names. I helped him get into Harvard Law School. When I was in Kigali, Rwanda, we missed a flight. I saw this effeminate dude with a lot of Gucci bags in the Kigali International Airport. Turned out he was this dude I knew through someone I had done a lot of work for. Anyway, I began to tell him that there was going to be a press conference to expose Obama for being a punk when I was on the airplane on Air Kenya going from Kigali to Nairobi. Dude had a migraine headache, and I think he ran to a telephone to call the Obama people to shut Larry down. I didn't know he was going to do it like that. And so when Larry got through, Joe Biden's son arrested him illegally for a bad check. You know that you can't arrest anybody in D.C. when you're from Delaware unless you were a federal law enforcement officer. And that's how, when this story came out, dude was made to disappear. All right. Now, it gets better because I met Wayne Madsen. I can't remember exactly how I met these people. Oh, I know how it is. I met Clarence Thomas's, he had a light-skinned girlfriend that used to go to sex factories, sex shops, sex vacations with Clarence Thomas. Real story. It's not my fault. I ain't do nothing. I didn't know. I didn't know she'd be talking about fucking Clarence Thomas. I thought I was going to a book club meeting. I like books. In fact, if you to see, I got books everywhere. I got a house full of books. I mean, I didn't know. But anyway, Wayne Madsen, who I met before then, they had been watching Obama too, because they all saw how he was moving, that he wasn't an organic politician. Why? Because my god brother Godfrey was friends with the Republican dude, Alan Keyes, who ran against Obama for the Senate. Remember that? And Alan Keyes was trying to expose Obama back in 2003, 2004. Remember? Now, what happens, I know people in Chicago, everybody was talking about this dude stabbing people. So Email Jones and all these other black regular grassroots leaders were getting destroyed by Obama. The word was out. You knew in Chicago, but nobody else. I tried to reach Jeremiah Wright, but nobody would let me talk to him. In fact, when I met Jeremiah Wright in 2014, I had to embarrass his ass and said, I tried to tell you in 2007 Obama was going to screw you the following year. And your friends at the University of Chicago wouldn't even allow me to talk to you to say it was coming. So don't act hostile and cold towards me. I wouldn't hurt you, dude. You know, we had a good rapport after that. Says, you guys are so insulated because you're so big and important until ordinary people can't come to tell you something to save your damn life. Now back to Obama. So Obama owed Joe Biden a favor because his son shut down Larry Sinclair, talked about, you know, the yes we can blowjob in the limo with the Coke situation, right? And in fact, before it happened, I emailed Jeremiah Wright and I said, you know, there's 6 degrees of separation. Obama's going to deliver the eulogy for Joe Biden Jr. because he owes his presidency to Joe Biden Jr. locking up Larry Sinclair's ass. And who did the eulogy for Joe Biden Jr.? And I don't know them. Barack Obama did it. I said that a week before it happened, before the shit's announced. How you doing? For prophecy. I couldn't care a damn if people agree with me. I'm right about shit before it happens. You know I'm telling the truth, Brother Q. I don't have to worry. I tell you there's going to be a war in Africa. There'll be fighting and all this shit. And I tell you which countries. It's all happened. And I haven't been in Niger in 40 years. I don't even follow the news over there like until recently. And I'm saying to you that Obama was an agent. And I started hearing from Joe Madison, not Joe Madison, but from Madsen, Wayne Madsen in 2009. And Cynthia McKinney and all of us saw that his birth certificate was phony as shit. It said that his race was African. Anybody, you know about anthropology, African has never a race on any American birth certificate because African, if it's North African, it's white. If it's sub-Saharan African, it's called black, unless it's one of those white minorities like in Kenya or Angola or Mozambique or South Africa. Are you following me? If you understand what I'm trying to say to you. And so all of us were trying to expose the birth certificate on Obama, but nobody wanted to listen. And mind you, I worked for Cynthia McKinney. I was an elector in the state of Tennessee for Cynthia McKinney. I would rather vote for a black woman than for a punk-ass black man. Pussy over bussy any day. You can quote me. You can write a damn check on it, okay? So Obama, hold on, I'm almost done. I warned all the Africans. I warned everybody with the housing crisis. Obama was going to let black people lose their homes. Obama was going to militarize and expand stuff and have folk get killed in Africa. Obama was going to start wars everywhere. Obama was going to let the illegals in. Obama was going to let all this gay shit go wild. And by the way, I need to say this and I'm going to stop. In 2012, and either in April, by the way, Wayne Madsen, okay, something happened. Larry Sinclair was so mad about what was happening about Obama. He tried to commit suicide in his house, I think in Martinsville, West Virginia. He tried to kill himself and the Secret Service broke in his house and resuscitated him. They didn't want to let him die because it would get it in the news that this man who claimed he fucked Obama died. So they wouldn't let him kill himself. This dude was so determined to say, I fucked Obama and I'll kill myself to prove it. I believe him. Shit, he's determined to make these people believe his ass. Let me tell you something. How did they know to break into his house and save him? To the point where his ass moved to Florida. And on top of that, my friend Wayne Madsen exposed the fact that there was a White House steward who may have been a party favorite to Bush, that Bush told Obama that he needed to keep. This dude in 2009 got busted. He was in the U.S. military. I think he's a U.S. Navy or Marines. He was a steward, got busted soliciting sex in the public restroom right here in the District of Caligula. And when Wayne Madsen put this shit out, along with his book, and along with his pictures that he had of Reggie Love with the white dude with testicles on his forehead with a big coon smile, and him screwing a white dude in the ass on this website, my friend was told Michelle Obama's going to kill you and kill everybody around you. He moved to Florida to keep from getting killed. These are people I know and shit that don't want to die. The person that everybody's afraid of is Michelle. She's the damn beast in the relationship. And that's saying something, being married to that trick Obama. Almost done. So, Obama, last thing I'm going to say, I went to Libya. And when I was in Libya in January of 2011, I warned the people that I met from Libya that kept telling me how excited they were Obama was the president, that he was going to start bombing your asses in 6 months. How will you like his ass then? They laughed at me. The U.S. government started bombing them 6 months later through NATO. Okay, I don't care what people think about what I have to say. It keeps happening. Now I'm going to say one more thing here. Black folks have stuck their heads in up their asses. They watched Obama. In fact, there was a big flood. A lot of counties in Georgia got flooded back in 2009. And Obama did not declare these black areas disaster zones. Every time there was something that black people could benefit from, with the exception of cripple-ass Negro Gestapo Henry Louis Gates, who was lucky in Cambridge to talk shit to an officer and not get your ass beat by some Massachusetts cracker cops. I mean, that's a whole different situation. But that's the only thing he even halfway did, and that was a half beer with a cop. I mean, what the hell is that? So Obama, he never promised us anything. He never did anything but hurt us, and we love him. Black people are masochists. We're addicted to pain, and we're addicted to trauma, and that's why we're still in love with Obama, who I call Ofaga, and that's the problem. And that's okay. I couldn't give a damn. I went off on Obama on international television in 2014, and they sent the FBI and shit around to bother me. Fuck them. Fuck Obama and his man-ass woman wife and those kids on his either. Everybody knows the shit. I'm sick and tired of black people lying. This shit just makes me so mad. I used to think black people were smart until that punk-ass nigga got in the White House. I even had an old boomer nigga tell me Obama is our reparations. And I started like not liking older black people. I thought I respected older people until Obama got in. Then that shit just fucked me up, man. I feel like some juvenile delinquent and shit when I'm around people above a certain age. Because they just, I mean, the niggas were crying at DC, and folks who didn't even like me because they knew I lived in DC were calling to see if they could stay in our house on the floor so they could see Obama get inaugurated. Let me tell you, that was the worst thing. When the worst was Obama's inauguration. I mean, I just turned the TV and everything off and just pray, God, make this shit go away. I had to wait 8 years of niggas in their delusion, and they still on the coon train with this Obama. Now I'm done. Go ahead. It's your turn, Dr. Winters.
Dr. Winters, just for real quick before you go, for you guys in the chat, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you cash app Dr. Short and Dr. Winters. This is the way the like button is how the channel grows. And this is the way that you support the channel. As well as you support these two esteemed historians and doctors in their fields.
Yeah, we book addicts. Yeah. Okay, if y'all support the athletes that are junkies for white girl and drugs and artists, well, we smart niggas, we're addicted to books. I would snort this shit in front of you if I could break into little parts. I love these books. Damn, I love these things. Because you can expose people when you know shit. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Now, y'all liked it, like this old Negro here. This is an angry Nat Turner type black person, the kind that you should want to be like. Not like Clyburn. That's the kind of Negro man that they would hope the master's house would burn down and fall on. This is a good man. Dr. Winters has about 40 books in publication on Amazon. You should get one or two. I got 40. And I have 2 books. I've got Slavery's Mastery. I think I got a copy here. And I got a book on that punk ass Cory Booker, who's just submitted to Congress in July the Gay Equality Act, where they're going to give special protection to make being a pedophile or a person that has sex with animals or sexually violent person the equivalent of a minority with federal protection. That's what Cory Booker's ass has done. I have to go in and grab, but this is one book. It's called, I have it upside down, Slavery's Mastery. I'll get my other book. It's called Spartacus, the Real Cory Booker. Y'all need to study these traitor, sellout Negro politicians and preachers and boule people. They're trying to destroy us, and we're so busy worshiping people. You don't see Jews praying to Hitler, but you see niggas praying to Obama like he's Jesus with the broke back.
Dr. Winters.
You know, Obama never, like I said, Obama didn't really hit it off with people in Chicago because nobody really knew him. Nobody really understood him. We understood right away that it was white folks that was making him popular. You know, it was white folks that sent him to the Senate. And, you know, it was white people who we knew. And see, Chicago, as I tell you, family, Chicago's a place that is so beautifully divided. Black here, white there. So when certain white people started supporting him, we knew right away that he was a coon. Because we knew that black people, they didn't support, you know, the black senator. We had a black senator who was a woman, and they hated her. But all these same white people who was against her and the rest of the black people in the city, they were supporting Obama. But see,
you're talking about Carol Moseley Brown.
Carol Moseley Brown, and it was Carol Moseley Brown. And so what happened is that we saw all these people come out of nowhere. All these racist white folks started pumping him up. So we knew what the deal was, because see, we had already known, at least me and my wife and others, we had already known that they had sent him there so he could get rid of Clinton. You got to remember, in a sense, that one of the things that also helped Obama to be elected was that for the first time in history, Oprah Winfrey supported Obama. And after Obama won Iowa, with Oprah Winfrey support, that's what really gave him a shot in the arm, because that's what made a lot of white people feel that they could like him. A lot of white people felt that he was the one. But
because they know Oprah hate black people.
Well, they felt, a lot of white people like Oprah, and they knew in a sense that that if Oprah was recommending him, yes, Oprah may hate black people because the fact, in the sense, she always wanted to be white. She always acknowledged she wanted to be white. But see, the thing about Obama was this: is that I don't think today as many black people are so armored with, so in love with Obama. But the point is this: is that many people don't want to. Many people, just like most people who vote for somebody, they don't want to admit that they made a mistake. And I think that the vast majority of foundational black Americans, other black people, they felt they made a mistake. But at night he got elected, and all those white people, in a sense, was crying, and everybody was crying. They were so happy that he got elected. In my home, we weren't really so happy because in my home we knew that hell was about to start. And my wife refused to look at that shit. Because she said he's going to fuck us up, and we will be fucked up. And the most important thing you have to understand is that that's one of the reasons why you have to be ready to fight. And see, we don't want to fight coons. We don't want to fight coons. But at the same time, we don't want to fight coons. These coons, they come back on us. But see, because of the fact, in the sense that back then we didn't have the new black media. Remember, in the sense that we didn't have people that was on YouTube and people who was really expressing all of these ideas. Today we're much more aware of the coonishness of a lot of black people. Today we're much more aware of the treachery of many black people because of the social media, just like here YouTube and other things like that. And so then, not only did Oprah represent the same Negro, Oprah represented. This is it. As you had to understand, white people can pick out somebody who they can like. That don't mean they like the entire black race. And Oprah happened to be that type of person who they felt they could like. And see, the thing is that Obama was fiction. Obama, in a sense, was a masterly creation of the media. And because there was no opposition media, there's the book Portuguese, about Booker. But see, because
he's the queen that's Mr. Clean.
Yeah, but again, because of the fact that we didn't have a media then, we didn't have people like Q and others who were getting on the internet and presenting. That's a very important book too. And we didn't have people on the internet. We didn't have people on social media. But today with social media, a lot of people are reckoning with, and it's very hard. It's very hard on a lot of black people. But because of the new black media, many black people are suffering today because they hate the fact that they supported Obama. And they had to realize later that he was, in a sense, a very treacherous person.
Yeah, Obama's the Antichrist. Y'all need to repent for voting for his punk ass. In fact, you know what? There'll never be enough depends to plug up his asshole for what he's done to us. Damn him.
Let me ask you, two gentlemen, a question, and we'll go from there, and then we'll open it up to the floor, hopefully. In between Obama and Biden, we got Donald Trump, who's an outsider to the political world, who's basically a developer and real estate guy from New York, who literally is not a lifetime politician whatsoever, who was friends with majority of people in the Democratic Party. So explain how Donald Trump plays a part in all this, and if he hurt people in the chat, like the title of the show, who hurt you worse, whether if you believe Donald Trump hurt you worse with his policies that he did or didn't do, and how these other two presidents that he was sandwiched in between, unfortunately, I got to use that analogy.
Well, to me, I really believe, in a sense, that President Biden has hurt us the most. And the reason I believe that Jim Crow Joe has hurt so much is that, yes, remember the focus of Obama was basically, in a sense, to make sure that he enriched the people who was already rich. Remember, Obama already had $200 million. So he was part of that. He was part of that ilk. He was part of that crowd. So he only did what came natural. Trump, in a sense, was a creation. He was an enemy created by the media. You see, but what I love today is that so many people are seeing all the ratchetness that that Jim Crow Joe is doing, and he's not able to hide it. And here, because see, the media's been trying hard. The media's been trying hard. They're talking about in the sense that the unemployment rate is going down. That's a lie. Do you know that up to July this year, it was 300,000 people that was receiving unemployment benefits. Out of that 300,000 people who was receiving unemployment benefits, do you know how many were black? 267,000. Nine out of every 100 black people in the state of Illinois is unemployed, and yet they're bringing over here all these illegal immigrants. They don't call the illegal immigrants, illegal immigrants, or even call them immigrants. Now they're calling them migrants. You see, and they're overrunning the city. And today the only city that's standing up to this illegal migration is the city of Chicago.
That's right.
City of Chicago, it's black people saying, Foundation of Black Americans saying, fuck this shit. We got homeless here. We got unemployment here. Help the unemployed. Help these other people, Yes, I'll admit, Johnson is trying to help those people. But the point is this, is that it's complicated, because the point is this, is that everything is focused on helping them. But when Mayor Johnson started sending some of those immigrants to the north side, then the white folks got upset. And when he took over a couple of YMCs on the north side and put them in.
And the same thing happened in New York. When they tried to put those people in Queens, the white folks turned out that little ugly crackhead, have a nice day, smiley face coon, started talking to that punk, effeminate governor in Maryland, and now they've agreed to bring the illegals to D.C., and suburban D.C., and the city of Baltimore. And so you're going to see MS-13 is going to terrorize black folks.
Well, see,
this is craziness.
Chicago. That was what they were doing in Chicago. A lot of them are gangbangers, but see, it's a gangbanging city. So when they started this, brothers whooped their ass. You see, and that's the whole point. Is that, see, what's happening now is that you got all these immigrants coming. These immigrants feel that they should be given a place to stay. They feel that they should be given money. Right now, what Johnson is doing, they all in the police station. You go to the police station, all you see is immigrants hanging around. They sleeping on the floors.
Do they pee on the floor? Because they do that in the apartment buildings here. You would think that they're mopping with Mountain Dew. They pee on the stairways. You think I'm serious? I'm just trying to say.
See, the thing is, this is that these immigrants, in a sense, the problem is
they think piss is rock salt. They pee all over the place.
These people are from Venezuela. They're from Guatemala, and they're up here, and they want to get a free start. Up in New York City, a lot of the immigrants are now prostituting some of the other immigrant women.
They're down here too, and they've got whole hotels with human trafficking right here on New York Avenue. They've given them money to help them sell juvenile pussy right here in D.C. This is a nasty ass city with a nasty ass president who's probably their biggest customer. If he could get away, if he could remember where it was, he'd be down there right now. I'm just saying.
He probably would go, but see, they don't have any young immigrant girls there for it to be with.
Yeah, they do. They do here. Oh, I beg to differ. I've been by. They've got kids. And yes, they do. Yes, they do. Most certainly. They brought some kids for who here.
A question, because someone mentioned don't send them to the country. I happen to live in very rural Pennsylvania. I don't live in a big city. So much so that for you guys that support the channel, a lot of times the connection will go bad because of my internet service. So let me ask Dr. Short and Dr. Winters questions, because these two specific questions, because they live in the big cities or close to the big cities. Are they strategically being placed in places like New York, Chicago, DC, Los Angeles to destabilize the Black Americans there?
No.
Yes.
No, I disagree. The point is this, is that what happened is that the governor of Texas and the governor of Florida trying to show that these so-called sanctuary cities are full of shit. I really feel that we should be able to put on the ballot for November, do we really want to remain a sanctuary city? You know, I think the majority of people in Chicago would vote against Chicago being a sanctuary city, you see. And the point is this, is that it just so happened that, do you know that I think they said that almost a million immigrants have been sent to New York City? Almost a million.
10,000 a month. 10,000 a month.
And in Chicago, they didn't send 100,000. But you know, pretty soon a lot of immigrants, they're not going to want to come to Chicago. Because see, Mayor Johnson, what he want to do is that, you know how over in Africa they had these refugee villages, and they have all the niggas living in tents. What Johnson want to do is that he want to put some tents up and put all the immigrants in the tents. You see, that means in a sense is that if all the immigrants in the tents with the police around, they ain't gonna be able to sell no pussy, they ain't gonna be able to sell no drugs, and there's people down in Texas and Florida here that when they go to Chicago they're gonna be put in a tent. I think they're not going to be able to get people to come here because remember, they offer those people a ticket to come up to Chicago, to come up to New York City. They promise them they're going to get jobs. Ain't no damn jobs in Chicago. Right now, Mayor Johnson and the Governor Pritzker, they're trying to get a special permit for these immigrants to work. You see, what's going on is that they've been having a lot of trouble in Chicago getting hotel workers, you know, to work in hotels, because a lot of the black people have been going on strike, and they've been trying it, and there's a lot of black people that don't want to work in these restaurants. So they're hoping that they can get these immigrants a green card so they can start working in these positions. But see, none of this is helping America. The world is saying America's fucked up, and we're fucked up because Biden is messing with my money. And I'm sorry to tell you this, I'm a pensioner. You know, I need my money, and Biden had fucked up my money. And the way Biden had fucked up my money is that Biden, what he did is that he refused to give Russia their $200 billion over here that they had in security and they gold. And once America did that, now all the countries in the world are pulling their money out of America. You know, we got the stupidest ass. Look, I minored in international relations. Do you know we got they're trying to get China to buy government bonds so they can cover our debt. And yet they're telling China they're gonna go to war with China in 2025. And they expect the Chinese to buy our bonds. On top of that,
well, they expect us to give them blowjobs, pick their cotton, and be on death row at the same time. They're used to this kind of stuff.
That's what they call a handy nigga, but a handyman. But the point is this, is that because the fact is that they held up all that money, now they're going all over the place. All these countries are pulling their money out of they're selling back the bonds. You know, see, remember, we live in a credit government. Our government has been able, in a sense, to fight wars, and the wars have been paid for by other countries buying our bonds. But what's happened is, because of the fact that people don't trust America anymore because Biden held the Russians' money, now people are pulling their money out of the bonds. You see? And then as they pull the money out of the bonds, it's hurting us. Right now, in a sense, you can't invest in Chinese companies. Chinese companies, in a sense, have one of the largest markets in the world. And they have a very sophisticated and educated market. Yet we can't even invest in Chinese companies, you see. You know, Biden is taxing, if you got money in crypto, Biden is taxing your crypto money. Biden is if you get $1,500 through PayPal, Biden is taxing your PayPal money. He's taxing your Cash App money. This man is the worst president that we ever had.
And you know what? Behind him is O'Faga. Biden is basically a dick ring for Obama. He's nothing but a retainer for Obama to have a third term, and he wants a fourth term. Joe Biden doesn't even know when he changed his Depends last.
He don't.
Okay. And so Obama and his and Man Shell and those kids that don't look like them, They the ones running this country. And also Biden caused this inflation. You know, we used to buy bottled water. You could get a case of 48 bottles of water for about $5.50 at Costco. That shit's $8 now. When did water jump in price? I used to get the coconut water. The coconut water for 12 cans used to be $10, $11. It's $16, $17, $18 now. Eggs used to be, sometimes you could go to Lidl or Lidl and get a dozen eggs for 79 cents. Those things went up to $5, $6. You mean to tell me chickens forgot how to lay fucking eggs? The price of gas is all high. Only bargain these days is pussy, and they're trying to get everybody to be gay. This is insane.
It's not.
I can't stand him. I can't stand him. The only thing they'll give you is some Bud Light, and just seeing that, you know, the tranny holding the can. I never liked beer. Now I hate it.
I got one question, you guys. Before we open up the questions to some of the people in the chat, you guys in the chat, please, if you have any questions, let it pertain to what the discussion is, please, because in a lot of the questions, if they're not in regards to the chat, refer to Dr. Short with his email, and Dr. Winters. They answer the questions through their email a lot that don't have anything to do with their shows that they particularly
if it's not a super stupid question.
Yeah. Let me I'm gonna just say it straight out. Foundational Black Americans, where we go from here?
Where we go from here?
Concentration camps.
But where we go from here is it's realizing in the sense that number one, we had to pack up on more guns. We had to pack up on more guns. We have to, in a sense, develop in a sense some strategy. See, the whole point is that remember, back in the day, the white man had a nigga in the closet. Because the white man had a nigga in the closet, every time the white man was about to fuck up America, they would go ask that nigga in the closet, "Nigga in the closet, what should I do?" What happened though is that they don't have any more niggas in the closet. They have decided that all the people from Harvard and Yale should run this country. That is the stupidest thing in the world, because most people who go to Harvard or go to Yale, they're not qualified. Their families just got money. And yet these are the people that are running this country today. And that's one of the reasons why we got so much inflation. We got so much inflation because, let me explain to you what's happened. Every time the Fed increases the interest rate, what that does is that makes the bonds that make interest on the bonds less. As the interest on the bonds decline, let me explain to you. Obama.
I like that ringtone, Dr. Winters.
That's because I got some crazy kids. What Obama did is that Obama, in a sense, he said that the banks had to show that they can, in a sense, be able to, the banks had to make sure that they're able, in a sense, to cover credit, to cover it, in a sense, the people who have money deposited in their banks. What happened is that instead of the banks trying to make their depositors healthy, what they did is they started buying a lot of bonds. When they bought a lot of the government bonds, as the Fed began to increase the interest rate, the bonds declined. As the bonds declined, that led, in a sense, to many banks going out of business. As these banks began to go out of business, what's happening, in a sense, is that they've been trying to bring down, in a sense, inflation. They can't bring down inflation because as the Feds are trying, in a sense, to increase the interest rate, Biden has given $130 billion, in a sense, to Ukraine to fight that war. And so what happened is that the Treasury has printed $3 trillion, $3 trillion more in bonds to try to cover that money that America is losing, given to Ukraine. But what's happened is that Nobody's buying the bonds. And because nobody's buying the bonds, we don't know how this country is going to look next year in terms of the money situation. Because see, as more and more money is being fucked up, then therefore, in a sense, that's going to affect us. We already see it in the inflation. And the inflation is mainly resulting from the fact is that at the same time that the feds are trying to raise the interest rate, you know, Biden is giving that $130 billion away. When they gave $130 billion away, that meant they had to print less money. And so then because they're printing less money, but at the same time, the cost of the bonds are going down, that's what's making the banks become more vulnerable. And that's why so many banks are going out of business. Do you know that there's a bank going out of business every week? Every week is a bank going out of business, but they're not telling anybody hardly. Unless you live in that area where that bank is closing, you don't know that the banks are closing. These banks are failing all over the place because of the fact that people are afraid of America because Jim Crow Biden held those Russian money. Then Jim Crow Biden, he told the Saudi Arabians, I'm going to tell you how much you can sell your oil for. We're going to make Russian oil $60. Okay, when they said they was going to make Russian oil $60, the Saudi Arabians said, oh, hold them up, baby, hold them up. and so then the Saudi Arabians, in a sense, they said, hey, Biden trying to fuck us up. Biden want to try to dictate our price. So what did Saudi Arabia do? Saudi Arabia ran to China. And then when they ran to China, China said, this is what you do, Saudi Arabia. Why don't you stop being mad at Iran? Because Iran, in a sense, and y'all all producing oil. If y'all work together producing oil, then I'll buy y'all oil and y'all can make some money. So then Saudi Arabia signed a peace treaty with Iran. And Saudi Arabia trying to peace treaty with Iran, that upset America because America is trying, in a sense, to surround Iran.
And they're trying to destroy Iran.
They're trying to destroy Iran. But what happened, in a sense, is that by Saudi Arabia getting close to Iran, and then by Iran joining BRICS, what happened, in a sense, is that they're all in BRICS, so they can now, in a sense, start using their own currency, the yuan. And as they use the yuan, in a sense, to pay for oil, that's going to affect the petrodollar. And we wouldn't be having no trouble like this, except Jim Crow Biden is going to try to tell the Arabs how much to sell their oil for. You see? And so then, see, the whole point is this, is that the only people you can tell to suck your dick, President Biden can tell to suck his dick, is foundational Black Americans.
That's right.
We're going to say, fuck you. But everybody else in the world, they don't care about Biden. They don't think about Biden. Now, in a sense, that's why I said next year, you do not know what's going to be happening in this country. Because the fact, in a sense, is that as these banks crash, as the inflation goes up, anything can happen. Anything can happen because see, and the media keep trying to protect Biden, you see, and even NPR, the National Public Radio, they're trying to protect Biden. But see, people not buying it, so I don't know what they do. What do you think they're gonna do, Doc Short, with since people don't want to vote for Biden? What do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're gonna just take the election or what? What do you think they're gonna do?
Well, they're gonna try to. Well, no, you mean Slamava. In fact, I got to tell a Kamala joke to kind of lighten the mood.
Come on now.
What does Kamala Harris have in common? What's something that Kamala Harris would hate about an old house? And what's something that she has in common with an old house?
I don't know.
She would hate a blocked up chimney and her gutters aren't clean.
I heard that. Yeah. And see, but what are they going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Because
I think that we may see some political violence, and let's just segue to all the hard-headed Black women out there. I hate having to talk to sisters because I love them, but they've made me so mad getting up behind this Depends wearing predator. Okay, you're going to see, I believe, political violence for the first time against Black women, elected officials and appointees, because they've become the face of the anti-Trump movement, that these folks would be the willing running dogs of the globalists that these people really hate, and not just them. And then they're going to kill, they may hurt some Sims too, like that dude whose name is Bragg, and he may end up in jail. Then you can call them fag. There are going to be a lot of people, if they're really angry about which direction this country came in, folks are going to, and they keep doing this in the news, talking about 60% or more of Black folks still approve of Biden. That's agitating white folks. It's making white folks feel they're doing it. They're setting us up.
It's a lie because the recent poll came out. It's 47%, and it's
okay. Well, good. Well, I saw the. It should be 0.
It is.
Joe Biden is our equivalent of Hitler. He locked up more Black people who didn't even smoke crack like his son does, who doesn't pay child support.
Right.
That they're making Black people the face of Obama's loyalists. Yeah. And we'll suffer like we did in Reconstruction. And you know what? The same stupid ass liberals, and a lot of them fat Delta Sigma Theta studs, they're against gun ownership while making white folk hate our guts. I'm telling you, these clusterfuck holes have shit for brains. And all this educational debt that you hoes got, it don't show me nothing that you can't see. That 21-year-old massacring Black folks in the store in Jacksonville, and the one in Buffalo, and the one that they caught that wanted to shoot the people up at the school, that folks are ready to do a Turner Diaries on our ass. And these hoes are against guns. They're for buybacks. You know what? I mean, I think buying back guns from our community is as smart as buying back Kotex after they've been used. It's that stupid, sisters.
You know, the thing is this, is that you're so true. I'm amazed that these Black people, I don't know what their background is. I can understand that Jamaican judge in Washington, D.C., but I do not understand how these Black women have allowed themselves to get in the middle of this Trump mess, because they should know that it's going to be pushback. It's going to be backlash.
But you know, they're going to say Black men didn't protect them. Do you realize if you walk into a swarm of bees, they'll sting you? They're not going to say, "Ooh, a woman, let's not sting her."
I'll be back.
You know, and I have to say this, the brothers, forgive me, we keep putting these women on pedestals, telling them if you have a pussy, you walk on water. Jesus didn't have a pussy and he walked on water. We don't have evidence of a woman walking on water, although you would like for a person with pussy to walk on water, especially if you have a waterbed. We have to start holding everybody accountable. Everybody has to be all hands on deck. War has been declared against us since the 1600s. I don't hate nobody. I'm straight up. I talk about heritage and legacy. I'm not tripping, but when I look at the DNA and I'm like a quarter white, I don't hate nobody, but damn, I know folk who hate my guts who are related probably. We need to be very real how deeply hated we are. We need to strap up. We need to start saving canned goods and stuff, and we need to really think about it. But I'm going to tell you, just like that judge gave all of Halle Berry's half-breed ass money to her exes, there's a rude awakening coming for the dumbass off-code pork chop feminists out here. They're about to learn that the people that worship you, Black women, are the Black men that you've been told to hate. Other folks may like the bubble ass. They may like you sassy, the same way a lot of people will buy Aretha Franklin records, but they would never marry her, especially when she got fat. A lot of folks don't like this off-code, unfeminine, masculine behavior. They don't mind it if a Black man has to be stymied by an opinionated broad that talks too damn much, who writes checks that her ass can't cash. But ultimately, there's contempt. Women don't go up to other women and tell them how strong they are. They tell them how beautiful they are, how nice their hair is. So when the white lesbian feminist tells a black woman she's strong, you know who you tell is strong? You tell a horse that it's strong. You tell a yak that it's strong. You tell a mule that it's strong. You tell a woman that she's beautiful, that she's gifted, that she's a great mother. We've got to get this goddamn feminism out of our community. You know, I have a copy of The Color Purple, and I hope you guys participate. In fact, I hope you, Dr. Winters, participate when I launch the Angry Black Men's Book Club, because I'm going to burn a copy of The Color Purple to commemorate the black men's struggle against white radical lesbian feminism in our community. It has to go. Just like you want hemorrhoids out of your ass, you want feminism out of our community. I didn't say women's rights. I didn't say decent pay for women, because my mama's helped to take care of me. We loved our big mama. We loved the righteous sisters, the Wazis. But the traitor, the fagonist men, they're the simps. They're the sickening black men. They're brotherfuckers, the kind that think begging for pussy and making excuses for Fannie Willis and that incredible hawk-looking bitch, Letitia James, and that Bernie Casey-looking Jamaican hoe here that's a judge in D.C., that sucking ass and calling overweight women in power chairs queens, begging. It's insulting to women. All this begging, all this Keith Sweat shit needs to stop. We need to start being real with one another.
That's right, but I really believe some people are trying to say Fannie Willis is Jamaican. We know that judge that in Washington is Jamaican. I really believe that if Jamaicans don't watch out, it's going to be a big backlash.
I think Letitia James is Caribbean too. When you hear names a lot of times and it sounds like a first name, I'm not trying to be mean. A lot of times, like if you hear a name, Steve James, they're often Caribbean. I don't know why they sound like they have two first names. But they keep doing this. I don't hate nobody. I got a Jamaican great-grandfather. I am not against people based on where you're from, but I do dislike you making life miserable for my group in my home country. It's being a bad guest. It's being a foul neighbor. Go the hell back to where you came from. Take a banana boat cruise somewhere or a mango boat. Some boat, just get the fuck out. If you're not going to work with us, stay the hell out of our affairs. And I'm waiting for my book on that ugly moose-looking Shirley Chisholm. She was the one that started a lot of this shit. She's the one that has a face that looks like a haunted house door knocker. I mean, they've been doing this for a while. We have to stop this shit.
But the thing is that what I'm afraid of is I see a lot of these immigrants, these immigrants like Jamaicans, Haitians, they don't understand that when the white man gets mad at you, he's gonna come at your ass. They don't understand why we fight. We fight white supremacy hegemony because of the fact, in the sense that if you don't fight the white supremacists, eventually they come to up you up. And I'm going to tell you, family, you out there in the audience, this is a prediction I'm making, and I ain't had a damn dream about it. But I predict that those same prosecutors who are trying to attack Trump are going to be sorry. Because, see, it's just like Judge Joe Brown said. All of these cases that they got against Trump are freedom of speech cases. They don't have nothing to do with no damn subversiveness. It's freedom.
And you know what? Do you really think that Clarence Thomas is going to vote against Donald Trump if a freedom of speech decision is handed down from the Supreme Court? Do you really think that punk ass Roberts, who I saw switching in front of me, maybe he liked me? He was. This really happened. And remember, they got the same-sex marriage on him. I'm just telling you. I was looking at the other way, just trying to say, I hope he's not trying to appeal to me. Anyway, I don't like the politics. Forget the ass. Look, we're going to see there's already a move to have a RICO thing for Vote Blue. Vote Blue has done illegal stuff. Black Lives Matter has done illegal stuff that the Justice Department has refused to prosecute. You're going to see a whole lot of boule, sellout types of people who are all up under OFAGA and Leiden, and they're going to round people up. They're going to be high-profile Negroes. They're going to go to jail like they're an ordinary crack dealing gang. And I'm just saying, it's coming. And it couldn't happen at a nicer time. And they're going to use RICO on Greek letter blacks, Masonic blacks, certain black religious denominations that have done illegal shit when they're supposed to be 501c3. See, the whole thing, when I ran for office in D.C., the way that you fuck up people is with campaign finance. There's so many ways for you to make a mistake. If someone gives you $1 too much, or you don't get an address, or you got more, there's so many ways, even if you don't want to make a mistake. And so they did billions of dollars in money in 2020 through Act Blue. A lot of it was illegal. They can lock up all of the leftist coon-ass niggas that they want. And you know what? Since they're so into rainbows and Skittles, I believe that would be a sexual tax holiday for all the people in lockup that don't get conjugal visits.
They already started on.
Sure, I'm right.
They already started in the bougies in Chicago. They had that pandemic loan that they were giving. But what they did is that the Justice Department cannot track down all these people. But do you know what they're doing in Chicago? The Chicago Board of Education, the Cook County Board, the City of Chicago Board. What they're doing is that they are running their employees' names through the list of people who got those loans, and they're firing them left and right in Chicago. They're firing people at the Board of Education. They're firing people that work for Cook County. And see, they don't even have to do that. But see, that's just a way to get the bougies. Just a way to get the big shot Negroes who took that loan, you see? And
they're the same ones that won't do anything for the less economically viable Black Americans. Right. It's Judgment Day for the boule.
It is.
It's Judgment Day for the boule. They will be punished. And I'm going to tell you something. The same way that the African dude didn't do anything for that female genitalia mutilation queen that got popped in the head with the brick and he didn't do shit. Count on me not to do anything if I see boule niggas catching hell. In fact, I might start singing, didn't it rain, children? Didn't it rain? Oh, my Lord. Didn't it rain, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? Oh, didn't it rain, children? Rain, oh my Lord, didn't it? I may start getting the whole hallelujah. I'm gonna get my tambourine and start speaking in tongues. Watching them put those the same Negroes that supported Biden's mass incarceration Biden bill. They let the poor Black people be destroyed and they turned their backs. Now they're gonna want people to have marches. See, we got a Black leadership, misleadership class that never cries racism, no matter how many of us get murdered or homes are stolen. But when it happens to their bushy asses that hate our guts, we're all supposed to turn into little Malcolm X's and shit for their user, grifter, backstabbing asses, and it ain't happening.
It ain't happening this time. And see, and Biden, if people really look at the people that Biden are attacking, some of these cases that they're bringing cases against bougie niggas. And these are
yes, they are. Yes, they are. And let me tell you something. A lot of people don't know this. And let me say this. Do you know that Joe Biden promised contracts to the Black Greek letter people? I don't even think that they're competitive bids, which means that's government fraud.
Yeah.
But the Republicans who already have the House, they're going to lock up a whole lot of bushy Negroes. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to get punished. Those folks are going to start trying to call us up and say, I support Black people. And they be trying to cover up their Ku Klux Klan tattoos and shit. We're going to see, what the Jackson 5 used to sing, Hallelujah Day. Remember that song? It wasn't a big hit. We're going to see punishment of our traitors in my lifetime.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm so glad I survived my heart attack. I just want to see at least one paddy wagon with some society bitches, in particular, if they're Delta coat hanger thetas. They always want to kill black babies.
I wanted to go to,
y'all gonna wish there was some babies alive to march for your sorry asses.
I wanted to go to
all
the
they've
border.
done is mess us up. In fact, let's talk about Trump for a second.
I want them to
change this shit, because I feel like talking like Donald Trump.
And get some of them sisters, those fraternity, those sorority sisters that's ruining our children.
Yes, they are. And they run the schools. They're the ones that fuck up the schools. But you know what?
Yeah.
I can already see it. And let me give you a speech.
Go ahead.
You're going to see this. Watch. It's going to go like this. My fellow Americans, everybody knows that since 2016, President Obama has targeted me and my campaign and my family and all my friends. They tried to ruin me. 2 impeachments, a false insurrectionary attack on the Capitol for which I was vituperatively attacked like I was a common criminal. Even though it took a nice mugshot, it was meant to humiliate me and make me seem as if there was something wrong with me creating the greatest economy in this country's history, giving us energy independence, having the lowest rate of unemployment in decades. And this guy with the bad birth certificate, we knew it was fake, Barack. Why? We're going to ask why, Barack. Why would you want to destroy this country? It was good to you. It let you be a phony black president. I don't even think you won. I don't think you won, but you were there, and you didn't get to mess the country up one time. You did it twice. But then Obama's divided this country racially. Him and fake news have set this country on a course for civil war. And I want to say, you know, if I have to do a national emergency, you know, when we have, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants an emergency. This is a free country. We love America. We love one another. I like black people, except for the guys in the park. I mean, they were fuck ups. I'm not sorry. I don't apologize. Look, but Barack, you knew better. Barack, you know, you're not even married to a real woman. The kids aren't yours. The birth certificate's not yours. You weren't even good to the black people. They didn't even have a choice. That's why they've come to me. They come to me and they say, you know, Trump, Obama, we don't get it. We supported him. 97%. Literally every black person in this country, without even vetting him, got behind him, came out. You could see the lines all the way to the moon. Black people voting for Barack Obama, a guy that's unseen, never did anything except for maybe some crack with the prostitute in the limo. I believe Larry Sinclair. I think Tucker Carlson did a fine job. Everybody give him a hand. The minute he got away from Fox News, people who used to be friends of mine, you know what I've talked about. There's somebody in the back. Tell him to go to hell. We're going to take this country back. We're going to put Barack in jail. And, you know, we're going to honor Obama's anti-heteronormative policies by putting Michelle Obama in a prison with the other guys so she could be more at home. That way we won't have to build different toilet facilities in Guantanamo. Now, I just want to say one more thing. There were a group of, well, I like dogs too much to call them bitches, but people in the hood, they would call them bitches. When, you know, don't you call them bitches, my black support? Yeah, they'd call them bitches, Letitia James, Fannie Willis, and I can't pronounce the little tropical broad. I don't know, she's a flight attendant or something in Washington, trying to tell me when I can talk. My own mother never told me to shut up. And I mean, I think I'm talking when I'm eating Milana's cooch, right? So I just want to say,
that you guys are going to be punished. Some people have told me about the boule. You haven't helped out your Black brothers and sisters. They told you not to take my platinum plan. They reversed my First Step Act to get your homie brothers out of prison. But we're going to put things back in. But there's got to be justice. And in this two-tier system to which I was shamefully mistreated, we're going to have to lock up some of these African-American leaders because they're corrupt and they're creating the kind of division in this country with black lives matter. Of course, Black Lives Matter, except for to the black criminals that they're saying defund the police. So when I become president, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to have an anti-boule task force, and I'm going to have Dr. Clyde Winters, a distinguished scholar from the great city of Chicago, and Dr. Randy Short, and they're going to be the boule czars to hunt down the traitor African Americans that have refused to deliver the American blessings of liberty to our Black brothers and sisters in this country. Thank you so much. I love everybody. I love everybody except for the boule bitches that messed with me when I wasn't in power. That was really, really foul. That was foul. Everybody saw what happened to me. I want to thank the people in Buckhead that cheered me on. I never saw so many Black women with weave with smiles on their faces. They usually look kind of surly. Anyway, something like this is going to be said. I can't wait.
You know, another big issue today is homeschooling. You know, because with what's happening down in Florida, where they're taking away foundational Black American history. You know, I just wrote a new book, and this new book is called Homeschool for Foundational, Guide to Homeschool for Foundational Black American Children. Okay, this book you can get at Amazon.com, and this book lays out the program. It gives you a curriculum, it gives you a program, and it also talks about the state laws that deal with opening up a homeschool. If you're interested in having a homeschool for your children, taking their children out of school, and finally trying to teach them so that they can have self-esteem, self-love, and believe in themselves, buy this new book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black American Children. You can order this.
And I want to ask you, does that book talk about the skills that people learned when they were slaves?
No, it talks about how the new skills that people can learn so that they can make money. Those skills,
all right.
Those skills we learned, they didn't allow us to do shit with it.
Dr. Winters.
Go ahead.
For those of us that may not want to give our money to Amazon in no shape or form, is there a way they could buy the book directly from you?
No. You know, they always talk. You know, I know Greg Carr is always talking about going to black publications, going to black authors. I'm sorry. You know, a lot of so-called black publishers, they only publish the books of their friends. Because they only publish the books of their friends, you have to publish your book where you can get it published. That's why my books are published by Amazon.com. I didn't have to go ask some boule Negro, will you publish my books? But if you want to begin to homeschool your child, if you want to know the policies, if you want to know a curriculum that you can use, especially in a sense, having a curriculum in here that can help you to teach social studies, math, language arts, reading. I tell you how you can use YouTube videos to help instruct your children, how you can use, in a sense, artificial intelligence so your kids can ask questions. Let's say that your kid is learning quadratic equations. You know, they can go to artificial intelligence and they'll break it down so they can understand. If you want to be able to educate your child, if you want, in a sense, to have your child being able to learn in an environment which is a homeschool where they can learn how to be lifelong learners, buy my new book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black American Children. It's a short guide for Black parents. You can use this to create your own homeschool. This book makes it clear that homeschooling your child is a serious decision. It explains the legal requirements a parent must meet when establishing your home school and teach you strategies parents can use to facilitate the learning of their children. Get this book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black American.
Get this book.
Hey, Dr. Winters, I need a link for your book. Email it to me real quick.
Just go to Amazon. Put in
It didn't pop up. I'm looking for it for people in the chat. It didn't pop up. I look for it.
I just published it this week. I'll send you I'll send you a link.
So you guys in the chat, in the community section, once Dr. Winter sends me the link, I will put it in the community section, as well as Dr. Winters will do, hopefully within the next week or so, we'll actually do a show on it and he'll talk about the book, but we won't go into depth about the book because the book needs to be purchased. We need to, one thing I want to say, and I don't want to take this too far left. We need to support those in our community who are giving us something tangible and not giving us a dream.
Even if it's wet.
This is the reason why our community, predators are always in our community, taking advantage of us.
Polite.
Whether it's sexually, economically,
religiously.
We are like open prey, like, just whenever you want to take advantage of a community or get over on the community, go to the black people, go to the Black Americans. They're easy. And we do it amongst ourselves, and we allow tethers and other people to do it. So I recommend you guys to really, really consider who you're giving your money to, who you're supporting, and asking yourself, what are you getting out of it? The former President Trump said, what do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? So when we have people like Dr. Short and Dr. Winters who are giving up their time and effort to educate us from a historical perspective and bringing it all the way up to how we should go about moving, we need to take it real serious. And this availability on YouTube may not be as accessible as it is today going forward. So we need to understand that. So Dr. Winters, appreciate you for writing that book. You snuck that in there on us. You ain't tell nobody. You kept it quiet, huh?
Well, I didn't know if I should really bring it up, but I know that it's a lot of people out there that want to teach their children, and so this is the book. I want to also thank the Jewel Healthy and Beauty Goods. She always sends me a lot of cash apps. She's a great sister. I love this lady. Also Sankofa Falami and others.
Sankofa Falami is very sweet.
Yeah.
She's always doing nice things for us, for me too. Thank you, Sankofa.
So you guys make sure I will put the link in the community section.
And can we do one more thing? Because I don't want this to end quite yet. I want to say this. Biden screwed us, Obama screwed us, and Trump actually wanted to do more, and Obama blocked him from doing more for the whole country, and he had a specific plan for helping Black people. Obama prevented Trump from doing things for Black people and the country. So even what you don't like about Trump, a lot of what Trump didn't do, he was being attacked illegally and unconstitutionally by Biden and Obama and the Boule. And I want to say this to you. Obama's been on the scene for over 20 years. There's never been an in-depth story, documentary, anything from anyone Black looking at this man, other than what you might get in Black Agenda Report. And Glenn Ford is dead, Bruce Dixon is dead, Martin Kilson's dead. And whatever I had to say about Obama, I said in 2007 in writing. Well, maybe I said something else in 2009, but folk weren't listening.
Yeah.
So Obama is basically like COVID, AIDS, crack, family breakup, gentrification, and Pride Month.
all combined to us. He's just the most destructive thing. He's the Antichrist. Anybody black still liking him deserves to be a slave or worse. Joe Biden is, that song they used to sing. I know it's from your youth, Dr. Winters. I'm your puppet. Da 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 da. Pull my string and make me sing. I'm your puppet. Yeah, Obama has been running Biden, and should I do my song? When you have all these dead, naked black men, as many as 6, and I've heard there more. You've heard about this too, Winters. All these dead black gay men. It's going to come out. It's coming out. It's going to all come out.
Well,
we're going to feel like fools. Should I do my song?
Yeah, go ahead. 1 minute. After what Carlson did, you might get a book like that.
I hope so. I hope he shames the shit out of the National Association of Boule Journalists. The song I was singing is Gaze in the Water. Gaze in the water, niggas. Gaze in the water. Obama's got a secret in the water. Gaze in the water. Gaze in the water, children. Gaze in the water. Obama got freaky in the water. That man, we're going to hold our heads in shame that there were all of these people like Glenn Ford and others who risked everything. I'm going to just tell you how sorry black folks are. Another reason why Tethers and other people hate us. When they see courageous black people willing to face the resentment and hate of their whole group to tell them the truth, and you stab them in the back and you betray them, people say those folks aren't worth a fuck. I'm just going to say that to you. And by the way, yes, that people form an opinion on how you treat people who are righteous amongst you. Black folks need to repent for getting behind the boule for Ofaga and for Biden. It's a disgrace. There were people who lost friends and associations trying to tell the truth. They weren't doing it for money. They did it out of pure love of their community. And the people turned their backs on them and were nasty to them. And now, just like with Biden, when we were told he was going to be better than Trump, you hear crickets. You don't hear them say we were wrong. We were lied to. In fact, all you're watching is people dropping dead from the jabs, and no one's saying what that's about.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy, y'all.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going there because they took one of our shows down, right, Q?
I'm blaming you, Dr. Winters, for being a truth
I made
teller.
a mistake. I didn't say it the right way. We had a nice show, and I mentioned that, and we lost it.
But I didn't say it like you did.
You're right.
I've had them take Twitter, and they've been shutting me up for years, but I refuse to shut up. Obama's the worst president. He's our Antichrist. Joe Biden is our Hitler. Trump, he's okay. He's not Malcolm X. He's not John Brown, but he's not Freddy Krueger.
But he's a coward, and because he's a coward. And at the same time, the thing is this: is that I feel that Obama and Biden were the worst. But the thing about Trump was that he was silent, and his silence, his failure to really keep it up, because he had a lot of black friends. He knew we weren't as bad, but see, he was just like the average white supremacist. All white supremacists want hegemony. They want to have hegemony over us. They want, in a sense, be able to keep us down. And so then, therefore, it doesn't matter. But my important thing is this: is that I want to know about my motherfucking money. And that is the thing that I made money. I'm not going to tell a lie. I made money when Trump was in office. And since Biden been in office, I've lost a lot of money. A lot of money. I've lost.
And so we need our MFM. We've got to get some MFM, which stands for motherfucking money. And I have another thing. We need MFM, and we need to do what? SUP. SUP stands for strap up. We need guns, God, and pussy. And dick for ladies, because we're inclusive here. And don't take a plastic one. Get a real one that pulsates on its own.
And this is it, is that if you can't find a gun, most of you grew up in the city like me, you know how to make a zip gun. You get you some wood, you get you a pipe, sand that pipe real good, that little pipe, get you a strong rubber band and some 22 bullets, and we're going to fuck them up any way we can.
And you know what? And there's something that you can get. You can get a crossbow, or Robin Hood, riding through the land. Get a bow and arrow. Robin Hood, rolling through the land. Robin Hood.
I was reading William Byrd today, and William Byrd was talking about the Indians. William Byrd was talking about the Indians in Virginia, and so William Byrd said the best thing that ever happened was when we gave those black Indians some damn muskets, because he said the worst thing it was to see a arrow coming and you couldn't hear an arrow. And so William Byrd, he wrote this in the early 1700s. And he said he did not want to see a brother with a damn bow and arrow. Give him a musket. They could only shoot one at a time.
Robin Hood, riding through the land. Get a bow and arrow, get a Bowie knife, get a machete. Get a spear. Go all the way, Pan-Africanist. Get a spear. Get a blowpipe. There's something that you can do.
Yes, and see, and that was the beauty. All these white supremacists always talking about they want to have a revolution. That was the beauty of Montgomery and the white chair, because but white people found out that we are not that Negro that you can whoop his ass. Yes, if you catch me by myself, then I'm hope you got me. But
if they're a Democratic leader,
that's right,
or a coon preacher that wants some 501c3 money, they could forgive Hitler, Stalin, Ceausescu. They could forgive Son of Sam. They could forgive Ed Buck. They could forgive all the police slayers and stuff. Yeah. Those chumps, all I can say, I hope that they get so many boosters until we don't see them no more.
Right. But you got to.
Are we done? Okay, now we need to do some fundraising. I want to just say this. You know how to reach Dr. Winters. You know that I'll be working with Brother Q, and we will be launching within days the Angry Black Men's Book Club. I'm going to have Dr. Winters and other people. I'm hoping to have the great Isaiah Washington as a guest, may even lead off with his book. Yeah. We want your support. We want to thank everybody that donates. Folk have no idea how important it is to be backed by your own. By the way, which gospel song is Kamala Harris's favorite?
Which one?
I Don't Feel No Ways Tired.
Dr. Short.
With the Angry Black Men's Book Club, we're going to have news, analysis, jokes, Black farmers, Black business people. We're going to be pointing people to documentary films. I hope this instance to partner with my brother in Germany. If you don't have the book, for us to get as many of those to you as PDFs, so you can at least build up a digital library. And I will be on Vimeo. I will be on, what's that damn thing? It's the one that the conservative people are on. I'm Rumble. Vimeo, but there's another one that they come on, and damn, I can't remember. It's like a plane or whatever. I can't remember it. But we're going to be on that. And of course, we're going to be on YouTube, Facebook, Instasham, Patreon. I'll be sharing that information with Brother Q. And of course, we're going to continue to work together, and we may even bring another brother that's trying to raise the channel because we need to work together. I made a commitment to Brother Q that I wouldn't leave him until he had 1,000 subscribers. And he's about 250 away from that. And I'm still not going to leave. We're going to work together to help one another out because we're not brother fuckers. And it's bigger than me.
Dr.
Okay.
Short, before we close, right? We need to talk. I need you to explain everything that happened with Raheem.
With who?
Raheem Shabazz.
Raheem Shabazz, real fast. Raheem Shabazz helped one of these guys whose name I'm not remembering do a documentary film, and the dude was rude, disrespectful, exploitative, abusive. He does some stuff with Boyce Watkins. You know, that could be a problematic because dude's like a weather vane in a wind tunnel. Just saying. And this man has a record of abusing women and not treating people right. And Raheem Shabazz exposed him. And this dude tried to get him swatted by filing something and talk about him because he had a previous conviction, had done some time somewhere, has long since paid his debt to society. It's his goddamn business. And if the shit's been expunged, fuck that punk ass nigga for bothering him. But he had the people over there and say he was dangerous. He had guns to try to get dude hurt. And Raheem Shabazz is just a fine, outstanding documentary filmmaker, a great man who's done so much for the community. He's got a heart of gold. And we don't let our own who stand up get screwed. And y'all all know I'm a Christian. I love Jesus, but my family's half Muslim. And even though I don't agree with them and I don't like reading my holy book backwards and shit, we don't want people riding herd on anybody. We don't want women's asses getting hit with bricks. We don't even want our LGBTQ folks who have their asses hanging out in the wind with their stupid ass flags. We don't want their asses beat either, but we're not going to make this shit a priority. And we don't want people fucked over because they're Muslim or they're ex-offenders or they're homeless or they're young or they're boomers. We need to respect one another and protect one another. And it's time for us to root out the scum in our group. People, pretender activists, pretender people, they're the biggest pimps of all time and nobody gets any pussy from them. That makes it even worse than the pimp that's selling some ass. At least you might feel good, even if you exploited someone. Raheem Shabazz has a GoFundMe. I have the link in my phone. Forgive me for not remembering it off the top of my head. But if you email me, wrandyshort@gmail.com, I will get you that link. He needs money. He needs legal representation. And this dude, who's such a man that he beats the hell out of women with a record of it, tries to get a black man killed by law enforcement. That's some Karen bitch. What's that woman's name? Bryant, the one that got my cousin Emmett Till killed. That's
Bryant.
Really sad. Karen Bryant. That sorry ass woman that got to live her whole life out with my cousin's smashed up head looking like a catfish with the whiskers pulled off. We need to start checking the scum in our ranks. We talk too much about white people tonight. I need to talk about sellout black people. They're the ones that make me need more Rolaids and shit than a whole baseball stadium. Because they keep selling us out and betraying us. We got betrayed on the shores of Africa and we're getting betrayed in democratic run cities across this country. And we need to stop the slave trade in our lifetime by checking the leaks, checking the traders, the leeches, the ticks, the nigglings, the negroidians, the blacknecks, the pork chops, the faggonist.
Ebony, you put this question up a few times, and we try to ask questions that are pertinent to the conversation.
Well, if it's not pertinent, we need our beauty rest as old as my ass is.
I'm going to just ask Dr. Short. I'm going to put the question up for Dr. Short to answer, but I don't even know
if it's not pertinent. No, we need rules, sister. He told you the rules. The reason that sister got popped in the head with the brick is we need some discipline in our race for everybody. Male and female. Equality means you follow the rules that everybody else does. You're acting like you're greater than. No dice. I'll log out before I let someone disrespect you on your platform. They know how to reach us. Our contacts are there. Are you ready? I'm ready to go. Aren't you ready to go,
John
Dr.
C,
Winters?
just a quick word on the notification. One of the things with YouTube, you should hit the bell thing to get the notification. But if you don't get the notification, if you send me an email with your email address, I will personally make sure that you get a notification. John C, we do want everybody to be able to get the live broadcast because we want people to ask the questions in live format because we get a lot of troll questions that I may delete and I may just leave up there and I may be sarcastic with your answer if you watch the playback. We want a channel that's going to support what we're doing and we want to answer questions, definitely with these two gentlemen there, answer questions that will be of benefit, not just entertainment. One of the things with YouTube and these platforms is a lot of people put on a shit show for people and it's more entertainment instead of information. And we really don't want to do that.
Yeah, so, we're not doing that no more. We quit. There are a lot of folks who titillate. They talk about celebrities. We're refusing to do that. I'm not doing it.
And I do talk about celebrities. I just don't do it right now. And I'll get to it one day. You guys, I do know what goes on with social media, with celebrities. I do have an opinion about it. And I'll address it eventually. Some things that go on. Just be a little patient with me. Definitely while we got these two gentlemen in availability. Like I said, there will be a time in the future where our access to intellectuals may not be as easy as most because really, y'all know the street terms. The game is to be sold, not told. So, and we pay for bullshit. We ain't even paying for information nowadays. These guys come on and they give us what they give us.
Research and books cost money.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is that you do know where your money's going. You do know these Dr. Winters is very transparent and Dr. Short is very transparent with the donations that they get, and they do give it back to us as a community. So let's be mindful of that. With that, any final words, Dr. Winters, up there?
No, just everybody take care, be on point, and remember, in a sense, try not to be caught slipping, try not to be caught alone around in the white community.
What? You mean in the black community? Because I live in the white community.
Don't be caught alone.
I just want to bring to your attention a little tether woman out in Greenbelt, Maryland, went for a stroll, and a white man came upon her and chopped her up like a bucket of chicken. 59 years old. Didn't make the news, and it happens every day. Many of these missing black women have been murdered.
Yes.
Lots of missing black folks have been killed.
Yes.
It's not going to make the news, people. Why should they tell you? They don't care about you.
Yes.
As Jackson said, they don't really care about us. Chopped up like a bucket of chicken. 59 years old. Went for a walk, and the white dude just hacked her up. And it didn't make. Now, had there been a black man brutally mutilating a white woman that was a respected member, it would be everywhere. Black women, that greener grass is a damn joke. You do too need men. That would be like a man that wants to be a father says he doesn't need women. Let me tell you, excrement and sperm will never make a baby, nor will munching carpet. We need each other.
Yes, sir.
Say amen. I gotta go. It's time to go.
With that, everybody like, share, subscribe. Until next time, appreciate all the support that you've given us. And we will see you guys soon. Take care. Have a great night.